Hey guys, it's Ellen here, and today we're painting and creating some really fun and, easy to do, very easy to do, Easter cards. It doesn't even have to be Easter, but I'm giving you ideas of how to make some new and unique cards. I have eggs here. You could easily done a different shape for something else, for a birthday or whatever. So I'm going to go over things step by step, really simple and fun and easy to do. If you're a Patreon member, I put a bonus traceable up there for some spring flowers. If you want to check that out, right there. If you're not a Patreon member, go check it out. It's a place people can go and support my channel. I have exclusive tutorials on Thursdays and traceables that go with YouTube, and just a place, just extra content. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and also please don't forget to hit the bell notification button to know my tutorials up. So without further ado, let's get painting some eggs. Okay, so for this fun Easter card exercise, I'm going to go with my supplies. I have a piece, I basically took a 9x12 piece of arch paper here. I folded in half and then folded in half again to get the two pieces here, which is 4.5x6, which I taped down with Scotch tape. And I had the other half piece and I folded that in half again and then half again to get two pieces this size, which will cut into the egg shapes after we paint them for the other part of the card. So I have them taped down. I have my water jars, my paper towels, and my paints, and I always have them in the description box what I use. There's so many different ways you can do this, but we're going to do one way and then switch the other way. And you can have them different colors. You can have the gingham pink, green, blue, whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. If you want the florals to be pink and you want the gingham to be green, that'll be really pretty. So I'm going to start off just with a nice light green. And basically I used 50% of my cadmium yellow deep and 50% of peacock blue to get this really pretty green. And then we're going to add water to that, which would be about 60-40. All right, and I'm using a flat brush, just a simple craft brush. This is a 1/2-inch brush. There's no particular name, but just a nice simple watercolor brush. I'm going to add a little bit more water because we want to do this translucent effect with this. To have this brush is just a simple shape. You could just do the actual gingham lines for you. So we're going to just go across here. Now, I'm going to have to go back another swipe just because, this paper soaks up a lot of paint. I might want to water it down a little bit. I want it a little bit lighter. Just going to add a little bit more water. This one I wanted a little bit lighter, so I would suggest making it slightly lighter than what I did. But you see, making even spaces, basically the same size as the brush. That's all you do. You're just going to swipe through all the little stripes. Going a little fast here, but take your time. Now, I didn't start at the end here, but it doesn't really matter either way if you did or not. The look is going to be great. So you're going to have to wait till this completely dries before you go ahead and do the cross gingham. Once that gingham part, the stripe's done, we're going to flip it. I'm going to do it with the same paint here. Again, we're going to flip it. So now it's vertical, and we're going to take our brush and do horizontal lines again. And you see, wherever it meets the first line, it gets darker and creates an automatic gingham plaid. It's like magic. Just go over this. Listen, don't worry if your lines are not straight. Mine are not straight. They don't need to be straight. It's what gives it character. But look how simple and easy this is. You can use the same concept on anything else you like and any color you like. Like I'm choosing green. You could have chose to do pink, orange, yellow, blue, purple. There. Look how simple and easy that was. Now you see how it's darker here and lighter here. just how plaids are made. They're like a woven that way. So while that's dry, we're going to flip over here and we're going to work on our floral. So the floral can be anything you want. You can make it roses, wildflowers, or just particularly, you know, spring flowers, like tulips and daffodils and whatnot. I'm going to do just a simple loose floral. That's kind of what I want to go for. And then you can do what I'm doing or do opposite. So I'm going to generally paint more purple kind of tone flowers, you know, and very light purple. Or you could do multicolored flowers. So we're going to be doing this floral here. And while we're doing the floral here, we're going to pick up one of our pieces of the paper here. And we're going to do the kind of similar floral on that. And I'll show you why. So I'm going to, like I said, work on maybe some purple. So I'm going to mix my magenta with my peacock. It's a little dirty over here because I use it for the green. I'm just going to clean that off. I'm going to make a nice purple. It might be a little dull. I'm going to add a little more blue. Oh, like a nice pretty blue purple. I have this nice pretty color here called the Verdier blue. It's gorgeous. Look how perfect that is with that green, right? We're going to be working with that too. I have to kind of activate my Verdier blue. Just going to water it down. I mean, sometimes you can use paint straight from the tube. Just water it down a bit. You don't have to mix all the time. There's no rules. I don't believe in rules. Yeah, you have some particular rules, but I'm just going to water it down. I'm just going to make simple strokes with this brush. I'm using the Grumbacher 10. You can use a nice rounded brush, and we're just going to make these simple floral strokes. See, just like a stroke here. So they kind of look like tulips, right? Little V's. Kind of just vary them around the paper. You kind of want to flip the paper around. So if it's taped down, you're going to have to move it around. And mine's taped on this whole board. So that color's a little too bright. Going to water it down. And basically, I'm going to add that purple. Going to water this down. More pinky over here. I did another one where I put some over here, so it's kind of more of magenta purple and then the bluish purple down here. Same premise, you can make tulips or a different type of flower. I'm going to water this down. I need to have way more water. And just make these simple little purple flowers. They don't have to be these perfect shape. These are like 5-petal type flowers. Just kind of sporadically throwing them all around. You could make your flowers bigger. Mine are kind of like on the I call them ditzy side. I might make a few bigger ones. Let's see, they're just like simple flowers, 4-petal. You can go in and add like a little dark color right in the center. See the darker color? Just tapping it in the center and have it bleed out. Makes for a very simple, pretty flower. You kind of want the tapping color in the center to be less water, more concentrated color. So then it has a prettier bleed. That, you know, it'd be really pretty if you did some pansies. I have a pansy tutorial. I have a lot of floral tutorials. Just go scroll through some of my flower tutorials and just start looking at them and then deciding what kind of little flowers you want to stick there. So like I said, I'm going to quickly just throw in. I don't want this to be really serious. You could make it more serious, really, if you want to concentrate. But I think cards should just be simple. This one kind of bled, kind of funny. You don't have to get really technical with the cards. Again, I'm adding the blue. I could flip it around, but I'm kind of used to painting all different ways. You might want to flip the card around so it's easy for you to figure out the different ways. And I've kind of mixed the two paints. See, that's kind of fun color I've gotten now. Well, a little too dark. Just play around with that. At this point, you might want to play around with adding some green. So I have my cadmium yellow deep. I'll grab the peacock here. I could use the same brush or just change it to a skinnier, smaller brush, whatever works for you. Just going to put in some greenery. I'm adding a little bit of Prussian blue. It makes it a little bit darker. Water it down. And I might put in just a touch of magenta just to tone it down a little bit. There we go. Okay. When it's a lot of water, you can kind of tap it on your paper towel to get off the excess. So here I'm just making simple tulip leaves. They kind of just hug the tulip, so it's just a line down. Just take your brush, push down and connect it, curve it, connect it. Just do something like that. You're going to go around the paper and you're going to do this. So I'm going to just basically speed up the process. And you can watch me paint it. This overexposed lighting. Okay. And then with for the purple one, you could just make a simple different leaf. You know, you have that particular tulip leaf. It's kind of long and skinny. You can make a rounded or more pointier leaf like this, more rounded leaf. See? You don't want them all going the same direction. That's why it's good to turn the paper around. You got this all over pattern. So I'll just take some more greens and I'll just kind of place where I think the leaves should go. Like, you don't want them all kind of looking one way. You want to move them around. So see how I have them coming this way and this way and this way. Our intention is to fill this whole area with florals. So right now it's not all filled. We're going to fix that. You just start off this way and then you keep adding. Now I might add a lighter green color tone, so I'm picking the yellow up into my green, watering it down. And this is where I'll just add in the greenery first and then the flowers second. Just put up a line here and some stems. Again here. It's nice to have a variety of greens. And then from the stems, I'll put other flowers there. If you want them really spaced out, you can do that too, and then we could fill in the whole background with the color. This one had the leaves. Again, and put in even smaller ones. Another ditzy flower here. Play around with the sizes. All that nonsense. So we're going to clean up our brush. We're going to take those little, see those little twiggies I made, and you can go in and you can add, let me add some blue to this, like a nice pretty purple or blue. See, I'm just making a little dot. It's just like a little wildflower. I have that new wildflower tutorial. Go in there and make some of those. But just basically, I'm just putting a dot at the end of a loose dot at the end of the little twigs here. And you have another variety of flower. And the flowers you already made, if you want to go in and add more detail to them, you can go ahead and do that. Like, see in the center here. Just adding a darker color. Just kind of tapping it in the center. Just like that. And then with the Verdier blue one, I could get the Verdier blue a little bit darker. And add in some little stripes of the tulip. We don't need to have this really serious. Let's just be expressive floral. Just indicate we have a nice floral here. And like I said, just go around and keep putting in more colors, more flowers. It can be smaller, bigger. And then if you wanted to put in a solid color, that might be nice too. Just going to put in a little pink flower here, pinkish magenta flower. Just a little ditzy flower. See, more on the pink purple side. I'll put another one here and add the greenery. All right, so I want you to just go ahead and fill it in. I'm going to fill mine in. Come back. Okay, so I went ahead and filled in the whole background with just a really pale purpley blue color, just to make it all filled in. It's kind of the look I'm going for. And again, if you wanted to go in and add little details to all your little flowers and your leaves, you can do that. Like I said, some of them will have it, some of them won't for me. I don't want to get bogged down by small details. I like the loose look. So we're going to just remove this fun stuff for now. I just sketched out lightly, you can't really see it, but just an egg shape, just for reference for where I want my paint to kind of go and how I want it to look so I know. So we're going to do the same gingham technique, all right, that we did with the green on the egg. So I've drawn out, here, I'll just make this easy for you guys to see. Just drew out an egg shaped. See that? Might be not the greatest egg shape in the planet. You don't have to draw the egg shape, but it helps with this particular exercise. The next one you won't need to do it. Just make sure you're painting the gingham the correct way, because we have to kind of do it on a curve. So just like the first gingham we did, we're going to do that again in that pretty green color. So I've got my cadmium yellow deep, my peacock blue, mixing up a nice pretty green again. And take that flat brush. Voila. I do want to erase some of these lines. And we're going to do the same thing, but only we're going to do this painted on a curve because we have an egg and it's kind of oblong but roundish. So we're going to take that brush, I'm going to curve it. See that? Just like you could just do this if you were painting Easter eggs. You can just do stripes. You don't want to do gingham. But I'm showing you an idea of what I had for Easter cards. So, just painting in that stripe. And guess what? Yes, we're going to have to wait till it dries, and then we're going to paint the other stripe going back the other way. So once, of course, that's dried, we're going to take the same technique, but this one's a little bit different. We're going to turn this, I'm going to go from the top, kind of curve a little bit going this way, right? And then a little bit coming this way, kind of going this way and this way. So you're curving inward and outward. So see that? And then this one will follow. And then, of course, you have to let that dry and then cut out the egg shape. We're going to put all these cards together. Isn't that cute? So let's put that away. Let's grab the other egg shape. Well, you can draw it in if you want, but I would suggest, since you were so used to painting the flowers you just did, you do the same thing on the egg, or you can make them. My brush is really dirty. I'm gonna clean up this purple color. So we make that same pretty purple color and blues and whatnot. You can make it a little bit different. I might make mine a little bit bigger. So I'll just take the brush and I'll just make these sweeping kind of blooms like this. See, I'm taking it. I'll do one over here. See, it's just a simple petal. Make them a little bigger than the ditzy flower that we did for the background in the other card. While that's still damp, I'm going to kind of connect these actually. I'm going to connect the petals to the middle. You're going to mix up, well, you should already have some, but anyway, mix up more concentrated color. So here's the peacock blue, less water. There's the pink, which is the magenta. I was kind of tapping my paper towel. and then I just go in here, put that color right on the edge, and have it bleed. I might need a little more color. It makes a nice pretty bleed. Just like that. And then I would take the Verdier blue or a different color or whatever. You want a variety of tones and colors, so I'll take that blue and I'll make another flower. And this one could be kind of the tulip. That's in here. And I put another one here. Oops. Like I said, variety of the colors and the shapes. So basically it's a U shape, very simple tulip. From here you can even make another, like more of a pinker purple with the magenta. And put a little ditzy flower in the center. Just a simple petal flower. Right? We're building up our little egg on this one. Do another ditzy flower up here. And add a little more magenta. Just a little bit. I'm gonna water it down. I want like 60-40 with the water here. A little on the pinker side. Still in that same kind of purple family though. Just making these really simple flowers. Nothing fancy. But you could put in a fancy flower. Nothing's going to stop you from doing that. And again, with the same premise, if you want to add that darker center right in the middle, just touch that. Should have a cute little bleed. Same thing with this one. So from there, you can put in your greenery. I have that bright green still. Mix up a little more of that paint. And just put in your foliage. Right? Don't get bogged down if it's not looking good because you're going to be cutting out the egg shape. So you just want little leaves. Right? I want to keep it bright and light. This bright green is perfect. I don't want to really put too much. Put the stem in for that. We don't really want to put a lot of dark tones. We want to keep it nice and bright because it's spring. I might go back in to that tulip and just add another tonality of the Verdier blue. There. And you can go in and do the same thing with the other ones. I'm going to just grab this purple. And it's darker in the center. You could add a little yellow to it if you want. I might just go grab some of this cadmium yellow itself. So I have a little bit of the cadmium yellow and I'll just put a little bit of that color in the center. You don't have to put yellow in it at all. If you want to put in a little bit of that just to brighten it up a little bit. You know, it's just a little touch. I wouldn't put a lot of it in there because I want to keep more of those purple tones. So now that you have that done and the gingham done, this is where the fun begins. First, we're going to just lift up the tape off our cards, and then we're going to go in and cut the eggs. So rather than let you hear all that lifting up the tape noise, I just lifted up the tape. And we have our eggs here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're going to grab our scissors, and we're going to cut out our egg shapes. Just like so. This is like the magic, right? Now, obviously, this is not a card because it's not folded. What I usually do, because this paper is kind of expensive, is I glue it on top of cardstock. You can use any color you want. Just plain old white might do for this particular one. Well, we're not going to put the egg on that one, are we? No. We're going to put the egg on this one. Isn't that cute? And then we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to just kind of cut out the shape. Like I said, you can do anything you want. You didn't have to do flowers. You can do all gingham. Just getting this shape Now I did the opposite just to see the variety, you know. I could have just done two, and the egg might have been a little bit bigger. I could have done a little bit bigger, but then you wouldn't see the pretty background. So you can kind of keep it up this way, and you could put a color here or some words here like Happy Easter. You know, whatever kind of way you want to do it. I mean, you can add, so like here's like the cardstock I was talking about. You add this on top of this, and you've got the egg. I'm going to show you another little trick. So I had another tutorial I did, I can't remember what it was. It was Valentine's Day or something like that last year. You get these like foam squares from a craft store. They're sticky on one side, right? You peel them off. They have these in all the craft stores. And you stick it on the back, and you just peel it off, and then you stick it down, and it has a three-dimensional, then you have like a three-dimensional card, like it's sticking off the background, which is kind of fun, right? And that's what you do. So you just take some of these foam squares. I'll just stick them over here. And I'll stick it here. And there's like these ones are tiny ones, but they have bigger squares. It's a little bit easier. And they're double-sided, and you just peel off the back side. Of course, my nails don't want to work. As long as you can get the idea. And then you stick it down. And then you have your pretty three-dimensional cards. And like I said, you could write Happy Easter on here. I don't know if I want to do that. I might want to do that. I'm trying to think. I would grab like a pen, or you could just paint it. You know, a pen might be easier. I would start off by first lightly using a pencil. To know where you're going to put your words, and then you could go back in and you could use the ink pen or just a Sharpie. I have that really cool ink pen, and I could just go ahead and do Happy Easter. Right, you can get a little fancy if you want. Go back over this. It's kind of like tricky to, you know, write on this rough paper. You just take your time. And this one doesn't have to have the wording, but you can still do that. You could also, ahead of time, put a band here of color, and then you could write on that with white or another color. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this fun little tutorial for making some fun Easter cards. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. On Thursdays, I have exclusive tutorials and downloads. I drew in just a fun new traceable extra this week that I'm going to put out today, actually. And it's just flowers, just spring flowers that you can do whatever you want with. And it's just a place people can go and support my channel, which I really appreciate. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Also, please don't forget to hit that bell notification button, because my tutorial is kind of crazy. I've had a crazy life this month. So yeah, I'm trying to get them out around 1, but it's not happening. So take care, guys, and happy creating. Happy creating.